volume, wake the crowd. F'nAround, stop the day. Rats and raves, we got something to say.
Good morning and welcome back to F'nAround in the morning. This is Joe.
Hey, what's up? It's JJ. Top of the morning, everybody.
Well, today for you guys, it's Thursday, December 5th. So we are recording this right now, obviously. But wanted to let you know what day it is. Wanted to kind of shout out, say hi, and let you know that we had a busy day over here at F'nAround last night. Did you get a chance to see some of those pics there, James?
Yeah, I seen you guys were over there with Big Zob, right?
Yeah, Big Zob, Zaza land. So everyone's listening. F'nAround podcast actually did an interview with Big Zob, Zaza land. His first episode will be airing today at 1 o'clock Eastern time, only right here on WURE FM Global. So you guys can listen to him yourselves. And he's going to be on streaming services on Monday. But obviously, when Big Zob came around, he hit it up with our DH, Mike, our buddy Mike over there. Mike's the DH of our group. He's the one that smokes with the guests and hits it up. So Za showed up there with, 6, 7 people, did an interview with Mike, and after 2.5 hours, they hit his pretty hard. He was a little worried about how his interview is going to sound. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, we do media releases. So, luckily,
literally the whole point behind doing it.
Exactly, because we don't want people to have second guesses or second thoughts. Yes, we don't want to make you look bad. Yes, we don't want to hurt you or defame you. But the point is, sometimes people have second guesses or second thoughts, and they change their mind. But sitting over here F'nAround, we're trying not to hurt individuals, entrepreneurs, or craft business. We want to support your voice and let you grow. So Za wanted to come by and, put it out there and see how it's going and listen to it. So he came by last night with his girlfriend, sat down, and decided to listen to all of his episode and see how bad he went.
How'd it go?
It actually went pretty well. There are a couple things he wanted to switch here or there, obviously, as expected.
Yeah.
But there are some things that we had already removed, but he listened to the raw footage. You listened to the raw footage, didn't you, James?
Yeah, no, I definitely checked that out. That's going to be that's definitely going to be one that the people want to hear for sure. My boys definitely got some good insight.
And it's from an insight point of view that most people don't actually give anymore, isn't it?
I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. You really don't get too many people that want to go on there and talk about some of those dealings. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely not a view that you see, like you said. Yeah.
Yeah, most people, they're in the craft or they're in the actual space or they're in the hemp side. It's very rare you go past the gray into the full-on black. And yes, he has a lifestyle brand. He has his Zaza land. They have their clothing, their apparel. They're dropping calendars, OnlyFans. They do a whole brand empire under Zaza land. But
he's got a Zaza OnlyFans too?
Yes, he does. Mike's supposed to be the first subscriber.
No, I'm good on that, but that's man, I didn't know he had all that shit going on. I remember it being mentioned in there. I just didn't. So what is it? He's got like the Zaza girls or something like that going on?
Yeah, Zaza land girls. He got models. He does photo shoots, modeling shoots of the clothing of his the shoots what's going on. He makes comics. He sells comics. He does all of that.
Man. That's interesting as fuck. I've seen that Godzilla thing that you were taking. So that's one of his thingies, huh?
That's actually his number one strain and brand, Zazazilla.
Zazazilla, that's the number one.
Yeah, that's for him.
Hey, what do I got to do to get some Zazazilla by me?
Well, let's ask Big Za.
Yeah, I think we should inquire to Big Za.
I agree. And he was talking. I don't want to give too much in the show, but he talks about some of the other big brands and strains too. But it's definitely worthwhile to get into. And I think everyone's going to enjoy it at 1 o'clock Eastern. So tune in for that. And if you miss it, I'm pretty sure Tink's going to play it again. Otherwise, just head on over to the podcast station or any streaming platform on Monday.
Yeah, because you guys got them all up on Spotify and all that other stuff now, right?
Yeah, exactly. Spotify, Apple, Amazon, iHeart, everywhere. Same as our show right here. If you miss us in the morning, you can always catch us later.
Yeah, most definitely. Man, well, that's really cool. I'm glad it looked like you guys were having some really good fun last night. Buddy always seems like he's a really good time. I kind of want to meet him.
Oh, you definitely got to. He is a great time. He comes in though. It's funny because everybody comes in with his crew and they smoke and they drink and they party. And the guy comes in with food. Like he comes in with like fried rice. He comes in with chicken wings. He comes in with whatever he wants. And he just sits there and gets high and eats. And he's like, I mean, he took over Mo's desk and he just sat there rocking the headphones, like going through and screenshotting the time things he had questions about. And hey, I don't think I should say this, or can we change this, or you want to adjust this volume? Like he's like, I got to sound perfect. I'm representing Zaza Land. We're like, we get it, man. Like our goal is to amplify your voice. Our goal isn't to hurt you in your message.
Yeah, most definitely. And did you guys run through everything? He's going to be all good?
All good. Worked out great. He's happy with it. I mean, Tink's got the final thing already. And luckily for us, most of the things he mentioned were already removed.
Oh, well, that's a plus.
Oh, it's a great plus. But so if you got some more on that, I had some interesting stuff happen to me yesterday. I thought you'd get a kick on.
Yeah, you were telling me when we talked this morning. What happened?
So you know how I'm currently at with the cannabis industry, right? Like I'm trying to amplify voices and do stuff. But would you ever consider me someone you want to sit at a table with the money and talk about where the industry is going right now?
Probably not.
Do you think I would ever be invited to a function with the money?
Probably not.
Correct. So, you know what deadlines are coming up for me. Remember? Like I got the deadline December 16th and 30th. So yesterday I get this interesting email. And I mean, we're no Ivy League educated individuals, but I mean, when something smells funny, it smells funny, right? The math ain't math, as you say, James. So I get an email yesterday from a anonymous group to my personal Gmail, not my 31201, not my podcast email, my personal Gmail, which means you know me or you've known me, right? Yeah. Inviting me to a private holiday party in Fort Lauderdale on December 13th on a private 100-foot yacht to discuss the future of medicinal recreational marijuana with private individuals to discuss where this industry is going. Doesn't say by what group's hosting it, doesn't say who's there, doesn't say what's invited, but invited me there and wanted me to RSVP by the 9th of December.
Damn.
What are you thinking? I mean, this is why I didn't want to tell you in advance or kind of give you a heads up. I see that. I see your head moving. I see you. I know you got to jump in and say something. In what world does that make sense?
It really doesn't make a lick of sense. You know, to be honest with you, it's either a really bad chess move, right? It's either a really stupid chess move, or they legitimately don't have brains. I don't know why anybody would want you in a room where most of the marijuana money is.
Not right? Even a room, a yacht, which is going to go out.
Yeah. I don't give a fuck if you're in the basement of a fucking house in the middle of nowhere. I don't know why anybody would want you in a room with the money. You get what I'm saying? That's basically what it is you're in the room with the money. You guys are all mingling. There's drinks, there's weed, there's gummies, there's all types of shit going around. Motherfuckers are going to get loose a little bit. And the last thing they want Joey to do is get loose in the middle of the fucking ocean talking about where people's money is going to marijuana and what the fuck they're doing, if they're doing it right. Because as we've seen, I don't know if anybody peeped, but just to touch on this, my boy JP Graziano ain't talking about that fucking Jardinier no more, is he?
Oh, but I will say I do like his clothing collab. It does actually look pretty hot.
Yeah, fuck all that. Let's figure out why the fuck he stopped talking about it, though. That's what happens when you put the guy that knows everything in the room with people. So basically, let's call Twitter the room, right? So this is speaking towards your yacht example, right? Right. So Twitter was the room that they let you in, right? Yep. You walk up in the room and you start talking about JP Graziano and them fucking stupid fucking peppers. I want to add. It doesn't even make no fucking sense. But you start talking about these peppers, and I remember for like 4 days, I didn't see anything besides the peppers, right? Oh, man, these peppers, come check out JP Graziano's peppers, all this stupid shit, right? Then after Joey says something about it, it's like, hey, a few days later, you start seeing less. Then we check. Magically, you could get the Graziano infused peppers everywhere but New Era. Make it make sense. Okay? So let's just say, make it make sense, right? The math ain't mathing. So then after that, now you can get them everywhere but New Era, right? But we stopped talking about it and pushed the clothing line. So for the people out there who are listening, just go and do some research and just see what the fuck, and then you'll understand the view that we're looking at this shit from. Why the fuck would you want Joey on a yacht with all the money?
Right. Does not make sense. That's why I knew I had to tell you this. I'm like I got the yacht name. I know the yacht. I know the location. I got the information they want me to RSVP. We both know I'm not going to do that. I can see this from a million miles away. The timeline's a little fishy, but I mean, like I knew once I told you. I mean, think how many movies jump in your head on this one. The first thing that popped in my head was
Oh
It's Always
God,
Sunny
yeah.
in Philadelphia. Remember It's Always Sunny? When the
Great
gang gets
show.
a boat?
Great show.
Remember when the gang gets a boat?
Mm-hmm.
It's all about that implications, right?
Yep. Yep. No, I mean, this is like I said, either a really dumb chess move where they thought they were going to be able to put you in mate. It was like one of them. It was like one of them 50-50 things, right? Like they thought that this was either going to end what was going on, or they knew that it. Like I mean, they knew that they should have known that you weren't going to go. Obviously, right?
Right.
So I don't know why they would give you the ammunition to tell people like, "Hey, why are you still inviting me to this shit?" Which is basically what it is. And feel free to call in, right? You guys can always get in touch with. If you guys don't want to reach out to him because we know you're all scared as fuck, so just reach out to me. Just reach out to me. I'll tell Joe, listen, I got somebody coming on that wants to answer one of our questions, right? It's that fucking simple. We don't mind. Listen, if we're wrong, we're wrong. It happens. Listen, I'm not right all the time, but I can tell you what we do is we try to sit back and look at the facts, right? We look at the facts of shit. You put pieces together, same way we did with Prentice, right? We're not lawyers,
No, not at all.
but we can tell you right now, based on the documents that we've seen, um, it doesn't. The math ain't mathin', right? You're going to hear that a lot on this show. The math always has to math. The math always has to math. And right now, it's the math ain't math. And explain somebody.
Right. I mean, like normally, like for example, when you get invited to a marijuana event or cannabis event or any type of corporate event, right? You know what person's throwing the party, what event is hosting the party, like, or even some of who the big players are, right? All it says is the name of the boat and that they're hosting a cannabis party for a private group of individuals to discuss the future of the industry. Nothing. No details. I'm not even going to click that link. You know, I mean, maybe the link has more, but I know the drill. I've been here before. Like, you really think I'm going to click that link?
No, probably not.
Especially when it's a yacht that you can Google, look up, and see it's a charter yacht. So they charter and rent it out. So anybody could be doing it. Yet the invite's coming from the yacht.
Yeah, it's a really dumb fucking chess move. Well, I mean, you've already made it abundantly clear that these people that you've been describing to me, right? And you know, we don't need to sit here and keep talking about it. Everybody that wants to know what the fuck we're talking about, right? I mean, saying the name. Everybody that wants to know what we're talking about, Joey is always open to talking about it. Trust and believe. If anybody is interested in the current situation of where the basis of all this talk comes from today, just reach out to Joe. He don't care any platform you want him to go on. He will even listen. I've witnessed this man try to right his wrongs in this situation, right? Because he recognizes all the time that some of the things that he's done in the marijuana industry were not good things, right? But the fact is you have one party, right, which shall rename nameless, right? Whatever.
You can say whatever you
have
want.
one party. Yeah, no, yeah, but we don't need to keep putting them on blast. They're losing money left and right as it is anyway.
You don't need to give them. They don't need any more marketing.
Yeah, right. We don't need to fucking market them pieces of shit. But you know what you have is two parties, right? You and Nameless, right? Who did some things, right? You guys, I mean, obviously, but you know, if for people to think that these things aren't going on daily everywhere else, right? It happens everywhere. So it's not just this one situation.
Every industry.
It kind of touched home when it happened, which I believe is what happened to you. It hit your friend, bro. Like, I mean, this is, it got you right there. It's a little bit different when they're not a client. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I know Juan has been in your life for quite some time, dude. Juan is not just somebody that inquired to you on LinkedIn about getting licensed. You know what I'm saying? And I know that there's obviously more to it, right? I'm just saying, like, that's not how the relationship was had. You guys have a personal relationship. This is your friend legitimately before anything. So when something like that kind of happens, it kind of hits you right there. You know what I'm saying? And then you really start to think about things that you're doing, right? So Dude, it's fucking, you're a human, Joe.
Right.
For anybody to get mad at you for that, right, is fucking stupid. Because I can sit here and tell you, for example, when I got clean and everything right and I got out of prison, I sat back and looked at what I was doing to who my current wife is, because me and Angela have been together 15 years, right?
Congrats on that.
I sat back and looked at, like, damn, what I'm doing to this girl is wrong. It's the same concept, right? You sat back, you looked at your scenario, and now here you are trying to right your wrong, right? Trying to right your wrong, and you're giving people the option, other people, the option to use your platform to also get their stories in any capacity, Joe. In any capacity. You're not saying, oh, everybody from the cannabis industry come out and call out big cannabis. No. No, listen, if you have been wronged and there's been something going on in a business aspect, right, where you believe you've been wronged, let's talk about it. We'll get to the bottom of it, and trust and believe, if you're bullshitting, we'll catch you. So don't try to come to us with no bullshit sob stories. Oh, no, we ain't trying to hear it. We do our research, right? Another example of that, yesterday, a friend of ours and my cousin, Leaf, reached out to us, right? Hey, listen, I know this guy at a nice craft company, Galaxy Labs, out in Chicago, right? Me and him are pretty good friends. What does Joey think about Galaxy Labs, right? So just to kind of show you, that's how we operate over here, right? We don't give a fuck if I don't care if you're going to give me $1 million to put your product on here, right? We need to do our research and make sure that we don't have anything that was wrong, right? We do things the right way around here, right? Now, when we do, Big Za, my boy, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We let you know, like, listen, this is our boy. You get it like that. Like, that's not the way we practice, right? But we are in the business, or you guys, I should say, you guys are in the business of giving everybody their platform to be heard, which has been your thing, right? So that's what this is about, ladies and gentlemen. And I really think that a lot more people should dive a little bit more into this. Juan Finch, Joe Phelan. I think I actually was just talking to this about marketing the other day. I really would like to get Juan on here one day.
We can. I mean, he's happy to do it. I mean, he's reached out. You saw him on LinkedIn. He wants to do it. The last time, so he did do a podcast in the spring with a guy named Cole for like the Cole Report or Cole Memo. And it's one of those ones that are supposed to be in transparency and talk about the legal issues and what's going on in the cannabis industry. He did a whole podcast and never released it, buried the thing. But he's had New Era on there a bunch of times and talked about it, yet he never released Juan's thing. And then not only that, he was actually a part of the Cannabis Equity Illinois Coalition, because they share one email, I found out, so you know. And the one email comes in, they all share it, and when one person grabs it, he tells everyone else he got it, takes it off their internal email, talks personally, then told everybody else that nothing came of the email thread, didn't tell anyone he did the interview, didn't tell anyone the situation, and never even told them about Juan. So not only did he take it out of the Cannabis Equity Coalition's group, didn't let them know the situation or what occurred, and buried it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, whoever I'm not going to.
Oh, they were not. They were not happy. They were not happy. They were not happy when they found that out.
Cole, if you're listening, go fuck yourself. Release the interview, for one. And for two, Juan, you ain't never gonna have that problem over here, my boy.
Exactly.
You ain't never gonna have that problem over here. And I don't. And just like we told Prentice, dude, we will push this story for you. So we got to get our boy Juan on here one of these days, man. Let him come. Let him know a little something, right? Let him know a little something.
I agree. I completely agree.
And I also believe, right, not to cut you off, but I also believe that you have another friend that just so happened to be in one of them meetings too, don't you, over there?
Yeah, I've had a couple.
I should mention his name, but.
Yeah, probably not yet. But yeah, we've got a couple friends in these meetings.
Yeah. So just so you know, just my point to prove here is that Joey's got receipts. Joey's got receipts, and the right people can see them, I'm sure, right, Joe? If the right
100%.
people want to see them, you have no problem, right?
And I mean, I have no problem. Once it's public record, I'll share with anyone, and what's not public record, and that's privilege, I just share it with the regulatory bodies. I just shoot it right over to the SEC and IRS, because the only way to bring transparency and make the whole industry accountable is to bring in the big boys, because the states won't step up. The only way to make it work is show the regulatory at the top that the states aren't doing their job. Yep.
Right way, sir.
Exactly.
Right way.
And honestly, I don't like to rant and rave about this every day, but the problem is when you get an email like that, you got to talk. Like
it's absolutely no problem. You got to talk about it. Like you said, when you get something like that, you know, what the whole point of this is, Joe, remind you, right? The whole point of this is being able to get everybody's stories out there.
Everybody's stories. So, like, for example, if you're in a legal situation in any industry, and somebody wants to invite you out on a yacht for some type of drinking party cruise to talk about your industry that's on the ocean, where you can go to open waters, where any implication of what could happen could happen. If the boys in It's Always Sunny thought it was a great way to get laid, it's pretty sure a great way to get your contract signed. Because let's be honest, the implications are crazy. We're out on a yacht in the middle of nowhere and you're all alone, or even with one person. You're easily outnumbered. You don't know what could happen. And let's be honest, implications are there. Nothing could happen, or nothing could be going to happen, but you never know. You don't go out in the middle of the ocean with a bunch of sharks when you don't know how to swim, or you're too far away from shore to swim back.
100%, 100%, 100%, my boy.
I knew you'd love that.
Yeah, that's another crazy situation, man. It's which you'll probably, you'll probably see a lot of this shit, because a lot of this stuff is starting to come to a head, let's say, right?
Completely agree. And it's funny how it's changed, honestly. Like, I mean, up until November 18th, I mean, people were reaching out to my allies, my friends, people that we're both familiar with that help us out, like literally trying to get them to stop me. Have me shut up, not help me, not give me guests, not have a voice, try and tell me that nothing's going to change. And who gives a fuck if we screwed over Joe and the black community? Shut them down. It's not going to change anything. November 18th, once that judge says, yeah, in open court, yeah, it's pretty obvious what you did. This shit's dismissed with prejudice. Hey, everybody went silent.
Yeah, they only got a few more days now.
Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, even with a few more days, I'm sober. I'm not partying. I'm not drinking. In what world am I going to go out on a yacht in Fort Lauderdale with a bunch of people I don't know, and you don't even tell me who's doing the party? I mean, I'm not even at MJ BizCon because I don't even know if I could do like Vegas for a week like this.
Yeah,
I mean, would you put me in Vegas for a week right now? No.
Well, fuck, if I was there, yeah. What the fuck you mean? We should go right now. Now that you mention it, cancel the show, end this shit, get on a plane, and let's go to fucking Vegas.
We're going to be all over the tables. We won't even find the event.
I don't need a room.
Exactly.
I don't need a room.
It's 24/7. We'll find a table open.
We'll find a table. We'll go when we'll go, and we make sure we get like one of them little motel rooms, so we got a shower and shit, obviously, right? We go stop at the motel, we shower, and we go right back to our fucking blackjack table. You go hit what do you play?
Pagal, because that means I could play forever and get free drinks, but I don't think that works right now.
I'll be right there with you, right? You get what I'm saying? I'll rotate between blackjack and Pagal, and I'm in it to win it, right? And we'll keep our mics on the whole time, right? Keep the mics on, and we'll just keep broadcasting.
You think 3112 would sponsor that?
Fuck, we gotta ask them. I'll have a conversation with the owner. I know him.
Tell me how it goes when you're speaking to the man in the mirror.
Yeah, when I get done with this, I'll get on the phone with the owner over there at that joint, and we'll see what he thinks about sponsoring a Vegas trip for the F'nAround in the morning.
I don't think that's gonna go so well.
Yeah, we're gonna see. A little more coffee, it might go good. We don't know.
You never know. Absolutely never know. But I mean, like, honestly, like at this point, no one's gonna want to talk to us there anyway, because no one's gonna want to see that someone talking to us. And that's kind of what the point of me talking about the boat in the first place. The people that we'd want to talk to there aren't going to want to talk to us. They're there for other business, other meetings, and things going on. We're kind of like the bomb in the middle of the room. Everybody knows it's going to go off, and they're afraid to catch the blast when it does. And that's kind of where it's at. So if we're currently like that in Illinois, right, where people are afraid of what's going on, people are scared to talk. I mean, you've seen it yourself when we're setting up interviews. People set it up, they'll talk, they're all interested, and then all of a sudden somebody publicly sees that they're talking to us, and then they don't want to respond to us anymore. It's a very interesting situation.
That's happened actually quite a few times.
Quite a few times.
Especially on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
but you know what I'm seeing? No, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm seeing a shift, though, right? So I'm starting to see this shift, even with mine. Shout out to everybody on LinkedIn, dude. Anybody that's watching this, I know Jason Rabin. I believe I pronounced your last name right. My brother, all his logistic friends have been tuning in. They tell us great feedback. We're going to get some logistics stuff involved in here soon too, so just stay in tune with that. But LinkedIn's been going very well for me. I'm getting a lot of people reaching out and recognizing about many different things, dude. Not just about marijuana, but I
Right.
am starting to see a nice uptick in marijuana people, which I'm not in the marijuana business, everybody. I did go to horticulture school, but I am not in the marijuana business. I can grow some fire ass fucking bud though, right? But with that being said, I'm really just a huge connoisseur of marijuana, right? So I love being involved with all these people, not because of business reasons, but these people are really creative. There's a lot of really cool shit going on in marijuana right now. And I'm starting to see an uptick on my LinkedIn of people reaching out to me and saying, hey, listen, this is good, stuff like that. So it's really, I'm seeing a slight change. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I'm starting to see more people like really get interested in what we got going on in the marijuana industry. So that's nice.
Yeah, it's
I
almost
know
like they
you
started
had
realizing I wasn't a disgruntled ex-partner employee ranting and raving, and the receipts are starting to line up.
yeah, and you know what, Joe? Another thing too is you've kind of been laser focused on your platform
Mhm.
recently, right? And we're gonna keep saying Nameless because I'm not promoting their shitty fucking brand, but Nameless has been digging themselves a hole, dude. They're digging themselves a hole monthly. We know how. One day we can dive more into how, right? Because
Right.
we've got the numbers, right? Um, one day we'll dive into that, but they're digging themselves a hole monthly, and it's just not working. And you really don't need to do much no more because it's truth,
Right.
right? When you're telling the truth, Joe, it's not hard to do.
Right.
You get what I'm
Exactly.
saying? The job's easy. If you're lying and bullshitting, it costs you millions of dollars, hint, 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 hint,
And
to
not only
keep it.
that, if we were on this platform lying, they could have shut us down already. The problem is when
Oh,
you're
I wish a
telling the truth,
motherfucker would.
right? When
Yeah,
you're
I wish a
telling the truth,
motherfucker would.
you can't shut somebody up because it backfires when you take that lawsuit public. You can't publicly sue someone for telling the truth if you don't want to get slapped publicly.
Yeah, and just so you know, Joey's probably gonna kick my ass for saying this, but I welcome it. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I prefer you didn't, but yeah, he wants the challenge. He likes he wants the publicity. Give it to
As most people will say, challenge accepted.
him.
You get what I'm saying?
Oh, I get it.
If you feel like, and obviously that's not in the form of a lawsuit either, man. Give us a call, like I
Right.
said. Give us a call, and hey, listen, we're more than happy to talk, right? And that goes for anybody. I want to see more of this with other people, though. I want people to call in and dispute some of the stuff that we're saying, not even pertaining to Nameless, right?
Right.
I'm just
Anything.
talking about the different things that we talk about. Listen, I invite healthy discussion, healthy criticism. I invite all that, right? Now, if you're going to call me and tell me I'm a fucking stupid piece of shit or something, then go fuck yourself. I'm coming at you sideways, right? But if you're going to call and we're going to act like adults on this platform and we're going to go back and forth, I'm all for that. I'm all for that at any time. I know Joey is, but
Oh,
listen, I'm
I'm
telling
always
you right
down for
now,
healthy
you don't
debate.
want to fucking do that, okay? You're better off with me. Come this way and stay the fuck away because he will tear your fucking head off. He will tear your fucking head off.
No,
Yeah,
I
so we just
won't.
don't play that.
I like generational pain.
Yeah, that's what you like. Yeah, okay. No, but for real, the marijuana industry is got a lot of cool things going on in it. So like we were talking about, shout out to everybody on LinkedIn, right? That's cool. Also, like we were saying, be on the lookout. I want to dive into this slightly for maybe like 5-10 minutes, right?
Let's go.
Joey, I really want to talk about the transportation stuff, right? Because somebody mentioned something about it to me yesterday after our rescheduling talk,
Yep.
right? What does that mean for the transportation if they legalize that shit, dude? How big is that?
That would actually be it would depend on how they're doing it, but it could actually be on a big process where you can actually cross state lines, which is a big, remember I said, Big Can is saying they
Mm-hmm.
want to change, but in actuality they don't. Because if it changes, the West Coast is going to flood the rest of the market, right? Look at all the outdoor farms, look at Oregon, even look at Michigan, look at Washington, look at California, how much big outdoor growth and farms they have with unlimited plants, right? You're going to see
Yeah.
a massive uptick of that going cross country, squeezing out all these players with plant counts. And I mean,
Mm-hmm.
why would you buy from Illinois when you can import from California for cheaper, right? So
Yeah,
how is it going
especially
to?
because I remember we were doing this, right? You were telling us at the time, right? You were like, listen, guys, if they flip this switch, that could be huge because obviously Pops moves a lot of regular freight from California right now,
Yeah.
right? I mean, my dad's got so much produce coming out of California that he doesn't even know what to do with it, right? So when you got guys like John, my dad, and Jason, and Gunnar Miller, and all these people that are going to be listening to this, that here, and I'm telling you, this is what these men do. I would imagine that the logistics industry is foaming at the mouth for this.
Not only that, it's the alcohol distribution industry because they're the ones who want to tie it up. So California did an interesting thing a while back, which is what other states are looking at too. They separated the distribution from the grows and the craft. We're allowing them to do almost like distribution groups like they did in Illinois for liquor industry, where you can actually brand as a distribution company and made a full separation. Illinois was supposed to do that where they had a separate transportation. Remember, you were looking into it, but then last minute, Big Canna pulled some strings and Pritzker gave out free licenses to all Big Canna, so they don't even need to use the transportation industry if they didn't want. But that's neither here nor there. We already knew how that was going. We knew that was you and I knew that was coming. Saved us a lot of headache and time. Too bad we didn't know sooner. But if that situation happens too, then it's not just a logistics thing. It's a liquor thing because they tie it in for branding and for events and sponsorships and what's going on. And then it depends whether it's going to be, if it's going to be state, regional, or federal, how it's going to be laid out, because then it depends on the spread. But the issue is, as I said, the people who are saying they want it are the same ones fighting against it. In what world are you going to hurt your own pocket?
Man, I'm telling you, man. Man, I couldn't wait. I would have loved to do it, dude. I'm serious. I would have loved to kick that off the way you set it up for us, man. The way that you helped us map that out.
Right. But the problem is, we didn't expect for politicians to pull back end strings to make it all that work not work for that part, like we had in Illinois. Remember?
Yeah. But what do you tell a guy like me then, right? Let's say you don't know me personally, right?
Right.
But you're putting this together for me, right? What do you tell the people, like when everything that you try to set up for them gets fucked up because of some politics, fucking corruption shit?
That's an ethical conundrum. Then do you keep your mouth shut and not tell them and still make the money, or do you tell them and let them know it's not going to be worthwhile and see if they value your trust and not tell other people? That's that ethical conundrum. Luckily, we didn't have that because we knew each other, right? But that is an ethical. Think of that ethical conundrum. I wouldn't have gotten paid unless it goes through, right? But if I know, right. So do you still take the check? So that means anybody who did that work for anybody else who's sitting there, part of that class action now fighting, the people who set that up and helped them, their brokers, their lawyers, if any of them had any ties to Big Canna or any of those people with the licenses, they probably knew. Because don't forget, I wasn't at the top tier of the players. Like, he shall not be named wasn't a top tier. They're still top, but they're not the top. So those guys, a lot of people use talking with them for their numbers, their figures, and how getting it done. So those analysts, those brokers, those lawyers who set that up, they probably knew just as much as me, if not more. So how many people?
So Joe, who is the top?
In Illinois?
You don't need to say names. Just give me an industry. Who's the top?
For cannabis?
Yeah.
Well, that's obviously you know who that is. For Canada? Yeah. Come on. That's an easy one. I say Cresco, always for the top. You got Cresco,
top.
I say Cresco. For Illinois, you got Cresco, you got Curaleaf, you got GTI, and you got Verano. Those are the big boys at the top.
Mm-hmm. Those are the big boys, right? Those are the big boys.
That's Illinois' big players.
After that is where you start seeing the scale down. Zenleaf, shit like that, so on.
Well, Zenleaf is still Verano.
Yeah, but that's where you see the downscale, right? So is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Top of the tree is them guys. Then everything else.
There's still a couple other players up there. Like the one I played with was there, but they're not the top. Like those are top, publicly traded. They can move markets. The world watches them, right? For Illinois, right? Obviously other states have other people. Like look at Florida. You got True Leaf. True Leaf. What remember we talked about that 150 million just to do that to try and approve that approval for Florida.
Mm-hmm.
What type of money are they throwing around? Right. And then you got like global companies and you got the Canopies and you got the Tilrays.
That was my next question. I know you've dabbled internationally, right?
Oh yeah. They're everywhere.
You've dabbled, right? what is internationally? What is their opinion of how we're doing in the marijuana market?
Yeah. So people are watching us to see how we're doing it. And some people are using us as an example, and some people are using us as one not to do based on a state by state. Like, so some places are rolling out like we're doing it state by state. Like I've seen that in South America where people are voting it in state by state and in their versions of it. But then like in Europe, they're doing it more country basis and trying to keep it on a country level and allow control.
Yeah,
Because you don't need that Michigan flooded market and then Illinois restricted market situation going on.
100%.
Right.
So, in your opinion, who's doing it the best right now?
Country wise, I don't even know which one I'd say yet. But if we want to be honest, we're always going to go back to Amsterdam because they started it. Like, you know what I mean? They were let's always say, I don't, how they're currently doing it. Yeah, not so much. But what I meant for dealing with the consumer, I've always liked Amsterdam.
Yeah, because it's my understanding, right, just from basic reading, that Amsterdam is starting to adopt some of these Western ways now.
Yeah.
Right.
So they're starting to switch now too.
Yeah,
but like,
that's what I've read, and that's even without you. That's just if you go on and you look at it. A lot of people are saying that Amsterdam's taken this Western view on fucking cannabis, and it's fucking the whole lick up over there because they really had it made.
They really did. And I mean, then you got places like Germany that are looking at distribution pharmaceutically. And then you have like these cannabis clubs in Spain. And there's all these different versions. I mean, Ireland's still working on getting their stuff together. London's having their issues. Canada, I mean, every time I think it's going well, then you hear something else where it's once again oversupply or under demand. You know what I mean? And everybody, the issue was originally everyone was counting on this export stuff. Even I was working on it, where you build out these massive facilities down in like South America, an outdoor process, set it up and export it and then import it into foreign countries, which was working out good. But then some of these foreign countries were setting up rules and regs where you can only import a certain amount based on what you grow there. So it can only hit certain caps. So in order to keep it in the market. So they thought it was good to import it, but then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, let's keep it in-house. So you kind of see how it's kind of tossing up, which is also why a big reason this whole CBD hemp and THC thing is taken up, because it's starting to switch how you can transfer and move the products as well. Because if you're building out all these giant facilities that are not monetized how it should be, right? And they're not getting the numbers you need, you switch it over to hemp or CBD where you can export it anywhere almost and push it out for pennies on the dollar. You can surplus a market.
Yeah. Yeah, and that THCA shit is starting to get a lot of traction.
Great traction. I mean, when you can go online and order it anywhere you want for just as much, if not cheaper, than a dispensary for the same stuff without leaving your home. Come on.
So now you mentioned that to me yesterday, right? Me and you were talking about that after we did our episode, right? So I'm, you know me, bro. I'm inquiring, I'm researching, right? I talked to my cousin Leaf about that, and here's his position on the problem with THCA, right? I guess what he's saying is you're basically overloading your system with cannabinoids or whatever it's called, right? So people that consistently smoke THCA and like Delta 8 and Delta 9 or whatever it is, or 9 and 10 or whatever the fuck they're talking about, you get headaches. It's like your version of overdosing on THC, right? Because, and one day we'll get him on the show to talk about it more, because I actually do.
Because I would like to know about that.
Some THCA products, right? I have some, because Georgia, obviously everybody knows Georgia, where I'm at, it's illegal, right? So THCA is kind of what's down here. So I mean, I've tried a couple of the pens, right? And I will tell you that if I'm smoking THCA consistently, I get a fucking headache. I get a fucking headache. And I asked him about it, and he was like, that's because it's just like taking too much of that shit into your system, right? That's why when you look at those labels for the pens and stuff, it tells you there's a little bit of THCA in there, there's a little bit of CBD, or because you're not supposed to just be strictly having just THCA.
Which is funny you said that. If you look at some of the big canna corporations now in Illinois, they're selling flower out the dispensaries, and we talked about in one of the podcasts, that's all THCA with like less than 1% THC, sometimes zero. And when we had the hemp experts on there, they were looking at some of that product, and they're like, yeah, this is hemp. How are they selling this at a dispensary? How are they labeling it as cannabis? So
yeah. And the THC count is so low, right? Because I remember somebody telling me, I might have been you, about that buffer that you got. It might have been Leaf too. There's a 15% buffer that they're allowed to do with testing. And what I will tell you, right, just what I do know of the cannabis industry, right? I know how to grow. That's what I know. I don't know about the business end of all that shit, right? I don't know the fucking permits you need or nothing like that. What I can tell you is growing a plant, right? When you do the clones and you cut clones, every time you drop it and put it in the ground or in your pot, whatever you're doing, you're taking the percentages down. Every time you clone, it gets weaker. I am telling you right now, Illinois is just at the point where they're probably like 13 down the line on clones, and their shit's just garbage.
Oh, so from my experience, what they're doing now is, so in the beginning, just, Illinois and Michigan, where I specialize in, when you got approved and your facility was up and running, they had a 30-day window where you had to get plants in the facility. So they walked away and they came back in 30 days like, oh, wow, plants are here. So that's how they were getting in the beginning. Now it is a little more restrictive on where they come from. So you can get seeds and clones and buy it in Michigan. In Illinois, though, I mean, personally, I witnessed it. They driving vans in from California of the clones they wanted and just having them show
clones,
up.
Right?
Yeah, new clones.
So, dude, I took a trip a few Februaries ago, right? I went to Northern Cali to do some, I'm not going to say the company's name because I know you don't fuck with them. But remember when I had my grow shit going on with that piece of shit, Brendan Tresh, right? So dude had us go, one of my boys, you know him. He put us in tune with a big company from Cali and they took us on a tour, right?
Kind of looks like
me. Remember? Yes.
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah. Super fucking weird dude, right? But
I heard he's back in Chicago. Everything bottomed out.
No.
Yeah.
Hey, bud, if you're listening, I'm sorry that happened to you. That sucks. He was putting in a lot of work out there.
Oh, he definitely was. He did reach out to me about getting in tune and getting on this, so I should probably follow back up. But that was when I first started the F'nAround podcast, so maybe we should get him on here so we can both say hi.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to talk to him.
Yep.
Yeah, so Mac Buddy has me come out there, right? We go out there, and he takes us everywhere that we need to be. I'm telling you, if you were looking at getting into the marijuana business, he took you everywhere you needed to be. And I'm pretty sure you know what I'm saying because a lot of Cali operates on black market shit, right?
Yep.
So
those pop-up markets.
Yeah, the smoke sessions, they call them, sessions and shit. So I'm sitting there and they're telling me exactly what you just said. They're like, dude, people are coming in from Illinois, buying the clones off of us, and then they're driving the clones back to Illinois and popping them. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, well, listen, there can't be that many people illegally growing, driving all the way out to Cali, right? So I'm kind of like, hey, dude, there's got to be more to this, right? Because if you're telling me that all black market people are doing this all the time, that would mean that there's a lot more black market grows in the state of Illinois that I believe, right? Which would mean that we would see a lot more arrests because we all know how Illinois is coming. So what that tells me is that you've got big players doing exactly what you said.
And they
sending people out to Cali, grabbing truckloads of clones, driving them right back to fucking Illinois and popping clones, dude. And that's why you see that shitty fucking weed that you got.
I mean, even the big players, when they move to another state, they take clones from their original facility and move it to the next state.
Man, these guys don't know what they're doing, dude. Clones aren't bad, and I'm not against cloning, right? I'm not against cloning. Is a very good process. It's very smart. If you do it properly, it can be done correctly. But one thing that people do not understand is you can't change the way things work in life, dude. Right. When you're cutting clones, every time you pop a clone, it gets weaker. It's really not supposed to be used that often, especially on a mass scale.
Correct.
Okay, so it's not supposed to be. That's like saying I'm going to use a half a gallon of milk out of a gallon, right? And I'm going to fill it with water and I'm going to keep doing this and selling the milk and cutting the milk. You get what
I mean,
I'm saying?
if you watched any cartoon and you're of our age growing up, anytime there's an episode where they find out a way to make a clone, eventually the clone makes a clone of the clone, and the clone makes a clone of the clone. By the time they're done, it's nothing like the original, and it's like D to D. But that's
You know
always
what
how
I'm
it ends
saying?
up in
Yeah.
every cartoon. The last clone's the worst. It's hilarious and it's sad, but I mean, cartoons taught us that as a kid. I mean, obviously they got it from somewhere.
Yeah. And I know I'm gonna have a ton of people that are probably, whoever listens and might dispute the cloning stuff. Listen, I'm not against cloning, right? If
Love
I'm
cloning.
growing in my backyard, right, and I want to make sure I got weed on a right schedule where I don't need to germinate, right? Because that's what people don't understand. The process is not that fucking easy. You
Right.
gotta germinate, you gotta pop seeds, you gotta make sure all this shit's done before you get that motherfucker in the ground, right? And you taking care of it from the point of seed is a lot harder. Taking care of a clone is easy as fuck, dude. I can clone a fucking plant, put it in my fucking closet behind me, and I'll be fucking decent, dude. I'll definitely get some shitty fucking weed out of it if I don't take care of it. But it's a lot easier to take care of a clone. When you're sitting here and you've made it so you have a 15% buffer on your testing results, right? And you're doing nothing but popping clones that are 13 generations old, man,
There's a
I'll
reason.
smoke the grass in my backyard.
There's a reason why Big Zob won't buy at your back door anymore. You should listen to that podcast.
You keep reminding me, I got to get in touch with him, buddy.
Yes, you do. And speaking of getting in touch with Big Za, I think this is that point where you get to highlight something good instead of us ranting and raving.
Oh yeah, yeah. What you want to talk about, my boy? We got quite a few things going on over here.
No,
man.
I meant spotlight something good, an artist. Remember something good in the world.
Listen,
Not
I
just
want to
bad
mention my boy Smoke Dollars, right? Smokey Dollars, right? So Buddy calls me up last night, man. Shout out to Freddie Wayne, dude. Freddie tells me, "Hey JJ, listen, you got to check this dude out, man." I'm like, "Man, let me hear it," right? He goes, "Here's his number. Give him a call," right? I give him a call. He FaceTimes me. My boy has literally turned his entire family and home into a recording studio.
Wow.
His wife does a podcast, and I'm not going to give any names because I'm not going to lie to you. I don't have my notes from last night, and I can't find them. My sister was at my desk, Tink. Shout out to Tink for fucking the desk up, right?
DJ Tink now.
Yeah, but Smoke's wife does a podcast while she cooks, or is getting it started. But Joe, they also got the screen on the wall for them to make beats.
Oh wow!
In his kitchen. So his son's 9 and raps, his wife raps, he mixes, he masters, he engineers, he gets his own videos done, all together, right? This guy's whole entire first floor, you can record from any area of the first floor.
Oh, that's awesome. Are you moving now? Are you buying the house?
About an entire family dedicated to music, right? So I just want everybody to know to check him out. Smokey Dollars on all platforms, right? You'll probably be seeing a lot more from him coming up soon. Freddie and Motivate the Trenches have something super special planned for dude. So definitely be on the lookout for him. His son is out of this world. And listen, not being rude, Smoke, don't take this the wrong way when you watch this, my boy. You're great. His wife and son are better. His wife and son are better, Joe. And his son doesn't rap about that bang, bang, shoot, shoot, kill, kill, all this other extra goofy shit, right? His son's rapping positive, motivational music. So, wow. Yeah, he talks about busting doors open on Ferraris and stuff, right? But in the same song, he's attributing that to Jesus Christ. You get what I'm saying? In some form or fashion, and talking about doing the right things in life. And this is his 9-year-old son who's been recording since he was 2, Joe.
You know who you should put him in tune with, right?
Who?
Santino.
Oh, dude, we mentioned Santino. And he said that we should have been started him. He said, why are you waiting until he's 5? He said, what are you waiting until he's 5 for? The thing is like, he's in Chicago, I'm here, right? So, we really want to integrate him to the situation, but I'm telling you, this whole entire family, and I don't know his wife's name. I didn't speak to his wife last night, and my notes aren't here, so I'm sorry, Smokey. I don't mean to not. I believe. Hold on. I'm trying to find this shit, dude, because I want to get his son's name, man. I do not have his son's name, but his son is a really good kid, dude. One of his first beats ever sold was to Chief Keef. So his son also produces music.
Wow.
I mean, I spent about an hour on the phone with him, hour and 20 minutes yesterday. The dedication that I seen right there between the whole entire family, and then on top of it, his love for Freddie and the situation, bro, was really nice. So everybody make sure that you give Smokey Dollars a look on all platforms, and make sure that you stay tuned, because I'm not gonna lie to you, as soon as I'm done with this, we got to get on the phone with my boy, and we're gonna start going through some music with him for Freddie, with me and Freddie and him. Little Chris, shout out to Little Chris too, dude. But yeah, Motivate the Trenches has got some shit going on over there, man. They got some shit going on over there.
That's a nice
Freddie's,
little highlight. That's a house we probably got to check out.
He's really trying to get it, you know what I'm saying? He's trying to get it wrapped up really nice before he starts pushing everything to the world. And I think he's literally right there, my boy. So everybody make sure you guys all go out, follow Motivate the Trenches on all platforms, stay in tune with my boy Freddie Wayne and Little Chris.
And I mean, shout out to Freddie. I mean, if you go to F'nAround podcast and you listen to our episode 1 through 3, which was one big segment, it was with Freddie. Freddie was our first interview who launched the podcast with us. Yeah, he launched it with us, and he's part of the reason we're such a success on that first episode, and people started tuning in. They tuned in with them, they liked them, they enjoyed our conversation. He was part of the growth right from the start.
Yeah. Shout out to our boy. So yeah, that's for the local stuff. I mean, I'm good on that. Anything you guys got planned for F'nAround coming up soon that the people might want to know?
Yeah, just remember at 1 p.m. Eastern today, Big Zaz episode's dropping right here on WURE FM Global, and it'll be streaming on all platforms on Monday. So
very nice.
Tune into that. Yeah,
and also, you guys have been tuning in on WURE, and we appreciate that. We just got numbers today. So thank you from everybody over here for going over there and listening to the show. We really appreciate it. There's a lot to be said for the people that are actually going over to the other platforms and listening, right?
Yeah.
Because it shows us that people are looking for the show, right? So we really appreciate you guys. Phil really appreciates you guys. WURE and Care Bear, DJ Jeff Lee, they all appreciate everybody, and just thank you for getting more and more in tune daily. You guys are really, really showing massive support, and we appreciate it. And also, if anybody would like the chance to be interviewed, right, please feel free to reach out. Come and check us out. We'll put together something between the station and whatever where we get you guys on there. And yeah, I mean, everything's looking really good from WUREs, and I had a really nice talk with Phil this morning. So Phil sends his love to everybody from the station, right? You guys will be seeing more of him soon too. And Phil D is the owner of the station, so he sends his love this morning and appreciation. I know the boys, I know Mike and Mo are ecstatic with the numbers, dude. I know they are, dude.
Beyond, they were happy. They were happy last night. They couldn't believe it when I was going over it with them before Big Zah got there. They couldn't believe the numbers and the traction they're getting. It was better than they thought.
That's fucking great, dude. Yeah, that's fucking great. Yeah,
no one expected we'd be there by this point, or for a long time.
Definitely didn't expect to be at those type of numbers at this point. But as always, I can't say it enough. We appreciate you guys, right? We appreciate.
We're here because of you guys, and that's why we want to keep amplifying your voices. So whether you want to be on the morning show, you want to be on the podcast, or you just want to shoot the shit with us, you want to do it in person, either in Chicago or down there in Georgia, or you want to just be remote over just like this, we're happy to have you.
Over Riverside. Yeah, Riverside works nice, man. I love Riverside. And also, don't be scared, right? We got an attorney on deck, right? You need some legal help because of something stupid you say on our show. Vadim got you. Don't worry, dude. Vadim Glozman got you at all times, man. Shout out to our boy. We appreciate the hell out of you too.
Yes, we do.
Thank you for everything.
You're not only here to protect the people we interview. You're here to protect the people we attack. I get it. It's
you know,
dog eat dog world out there.
Go to wherever the money is, my boy. My boy's making moves and doing his thing for people. He's going where the money's at.
He's probably sitting there listening, seeing who I mentioned.
Oh, of course he is. You know he's scouting, right? You know he's scouting.
He wants to know who's gonna go under the regulatory anvil. See who I'm going to put the pressure on.
Yeah, he's probably really making sure you're not going on that yacht. That's what he's
Probably. No, Joe's not coming back from that. We all know that. But
oh man.
but can you? Just to end it. I mean, we got a couple seconds left. But can you believe someone thought that was a good idea?
Well, no, I mean, judging by the people that you've mentioned that we're dealing with, I do believe that they thought it was a good idea. But once again, we're going to point out that JJ says you're fucking stupid. Okay.
And thanks for effing around with us in the morning. And this is Joe.
This is JJ, everybody. Have a great day.
And JJ said, you're fucking stupid.
Thank you for effing around with us in the morning.
See you tomorrow morning.
All right, see you tomorrow morning.
Effing around, start the day. Lesson range, we got something to say. Feel the beat, the energy rise. It's morning mayhem, no surprise. We're effing around, sun's up, it's true. Morning vibes just for you.
Sounds good.